Welcome to the male brain.
Oh, is he recording right now?
Am I supposed to be like staring down the camera?
Is it on? Not laughing. Oh shit.
The most insulting thing as a young boy was being picked last in kickball.
Is definitely not being good at sports.
The worst thing I was called as a child was a girl.
The worst insult you could be called as a kid was a girl. Because no boy wants to be called a girl.
The worst insult as a young boy was being called a girl. Because women are weak.
Favorite thing to play as a child was, I guess, like sword fighting with or Nerf gun wars.
My favorite thing to play as a child would be wiffle ball or play with Legos or something.
We played a lot of soccer, a lot of sports, a lot of physical sports.
Like playing guitar.
Ooh, that's a good answer. That's not a bad answer.
Lacrosse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at those two.
As a child, my favorite thing to play was cars. Like I got little Matchbox cars and played with those and Hot Wheels.
Either just basketball or play with trains.
Okay, my first crush was in first grade, and her name was Asia. She was Asian.
I was like in kindergarten, and like the girl's name was Haley. Not even lying. I was gonna say she was banging, but that's really weird.
First time I ever had a crush on a girl was probably in preschool.
Preschool, had me a little fling with a girl. We liked to play doctor together.
Yes, elementary school. Her name was Savannah. And she was in gym class with me. And she was a babe.
7th grade, we used to do like classic middle school thing where you went to the mall together and everyone partnered up, and then you go to the movies, and then Friday nights at the football game. As a child, I looked up most to my dad, because we always were doing stuff together. I was the youngest in a family with 4 older sisters, so there's a lot of girls. And so having a dad there, he was like, we were buddies, and we'd always go out and play sports and just be guys together, be the men of the house.
I'd say definitely my dad, because that's like the ultimate male figure. You like want to grow up to be like your dad. Person I call my father now wasn't in my life until I was 10. So my mom raised me about, well, I was raised by women. My mom, my aunt, my grandma, just like straight up. So that's it.
As a child, I looked up to Joe Montana because he won Super Bowls.
My dad, because he was like 6'4".
I looked up to my dad too. He was an Army guy. Kind of cool stuff, so.
As a teenager, my self-confidence was based on how good I did in sports.
I guess like performance in like various, I don't know, whether it's like sports or school or that kind of thing.
I'd say it's a lot on ability and success, you know, both academically and athletically. Just depends on what you're interested in.
I guess like how I was perceived by others. I feel like that's like the most the mainly teenage answer. You care about what everyone else thinks.
What others thought of me, hardcore, like every day.
As a teenager, probably the riskiest things I ever did was just drinking underage. Besides that, just, I mean, always with my friends, but, you know, just that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, a lot. I don't know, I guess I probably mostly did it with my, best friends from high school.
Yes, I had some friends in high school who I would consider quite, they do risky things at times, including mudding, you know, like off-roading in a car. I had friends who would just run around the mall, just dropping things off of buildings and all kinds of things that would be deemed as risky.
As a teenager, some mischievous activities I was involved in had to do with drinking and smoking marijuana with my friends.
Well, one time I was arrested for egging, and I was with a bunch of my friends. I didn't really want to do it, but like they were all just going out, so I was like, what the heck? Like I'll just come along. I was like, and I didn't throw any eggs actually, but I was like telling the officer, I was like, I didn't do anything. I was just here, and he was just like, it doesn't matter. Like you're guilty by association.
I feel that most of my conversations with my friends are about schoolwork right now, and then soccer, you know, a lot of the time. And beyond that, I guess there's a lot of talk about FIFA in our hall, but other than that, it doesn't really range much beyond sports. I guess sometimes talk about girls, but that's about it, really.
The opposite sex, food, sports, and a lot of just random stuff that's just going on in the moment.
Normally, most of our conversations are about what we're doing later that night. If we have homework, if we don't have homework, are we going to go drink, or are we going to stay inside and go to bed early? It's usually about all it is.
I'd say it's mostly about, you know, what's going on around campus, you know, with the, you know, Russian fraternities and you know, what's going on in school and stuff like that.
Like what's been going on that day, I guess, like most of them. Yeah, or like if most people like sports or stuff, or I don't know.
Most of my conversations with my friends have to do with several different things involving food, sports, sex, drugs, any combination of that.
With my friends, we talk about sports, food, and girls, probably in that order. Sports, girls, food, in that order.
When I'm not the best at something, I don't like that at all, and I probably get jealous a little bit of the other person, possibly. But more than anything, like it just makes me, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but more than anything, it makes me want to like improve myself to be better.
Not well. I enjoy being the best. That's like my goal in pretty much everything that I do. What keeps me going. So yeah.
I drink.
Realistically, I mean, I think I'd be taking myself way too seriously if I thought I was the best at anything.
I agree with that. I feel like that's something that a lot of college students should come to realize is that regardless, at the end of the day, there's probably going to be somebody that's better at something than you, and probably a lot of things that are better. They are better at than you.
Gotta have some humility.
Yeah.
You're not the best at something. You just avoid doing it.
Yes, I have been rejected by a girl several times. When you're a single male in college, you tend to put yourself out there a lot more, and some girls like it and some girls don't.
Well, I have been rejected by a girl, and it was not enjoyable.
I did, and it made me want to go back for more.
Yes, I've been rejected by a girl. I mean, it doesn't feel good.
As a teenager, I thought my parents were very strict, but I love my parents, and I am the man I am today because of them, and during my teenage years, and them being so hard on me.
I generally liked them and was of short patience with them a lot, but liked them.
I was really close to my dad, so we had a really good relationship. You know, we could talk about stuff. Me and my mom were kind of strained. She liked to be on me all the time, as in stressing about stuff for me, which kind of got annoying. But I guess in the long run, it was probably a good thing.
I tried to avoid them because I didn't like talking to them, but I didn't dislike them.
I resented any effort for my parents to govern my life in any way, shape, or form.
They were the worst. I hated them.
I liked my parents.
Bullshit.
They let me get away with a lot of stuff, so I was they're always nice to me.
The flirting techniques I use are looking at them and laughing.
I don't really know how to flirt, but mostly talking to girls.
I tend to find a girl that seems to make eye contact with me first, no matter where I am. And I always seem to try and be more masculine and over-dominate her in a conversation because I feel that makes her feel like I am a competent and confident male.
I like to crack jokes and come across as funny.
Probably just trying to be funny. Yeah, getting to know the other person better.
I don't know. Could not tell you.
I think I just try to be, I probably try harder than usual to be funny and to be interested and interesting.
I use smiling, subtle hints at my attraction to the said female. I guess the classic one is touching of the arm. You know, that's always a good seller.
I have never lied to a girl to get them to like me more. Yes, to get her to like me more. Yes, absolutely.
100%, all the time. I mean, I'm relatively short, so maybe I said I was 5'9" when I'm 5'8". I don't know.
It's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
I haven't lied in a negative way, but definitely maybe small things. Not yeah, I have 3 boats around the world, nothing like that.
Not lie so much as omit certain details.
A guy has hit on a girl with the hopes of luring her away from me, and it didn't feel good.
There's definitely been other guys that have hit on girls I like, but I would never say purposely to allure them away from me. But I mean, it doesn't feel good, of course.
Yes, that's happened, and it just I took it as a challenge because I'm really competitive.
Yeah, that's definitely happened once or twice before. Makes you really pissed off and jealous, angry.
I would say women place the most importance on a guy's face.
Face.
The hair. People have a lot of comments about hair.
Their teeth. I think women look at guys' teeth.
Height.
I would probably also say height. Yeah.
What I usually find to believe is true is they pay attention to whatever looks best on the person.
I think women place the most importance on the penis.
I don't think I could say it on this. Okay, big dick.
So finding out that she was pregnant, I was actually relieved that there's a reason that she was feeling so bad.
Well, I was in the crawl space of the house doing some repairs, and my wife brought a card to me and called me out to tell me that she was pregnant. And I guess I was thrilled that she was pregnant, and I was very intimidated by the thought of being a father and all the responsibility that came with that. Actually, the first time I saw Ellie was when they were doing a C-section and her head came out. And she looked like a creature from Aliens. And then, but when they brought her out, I was just excited.
When I saw my daughter crown, I saw her head and like her shoulders push out in one big push. And then she started crying. I immediately started bawling for about 15 minutes in a very, not just like ugly cry face, but like I hadn't cried in like months or years maybe somehow. Like I'd never cried that hard, and I don't know why. And actually the nurses asked me to stop crying because I was crying so hard. And I couldn't see. Like I cried so hard my eyes were puffy I couldn't see for like 10 minutes.
The different roles my mom and dad played, my mom was more caring and like nice, and my dad was like more aggressive and he like pushed me hard.
My dad yelled at me and my mom yelled at me more.
Dad worked and my mom stayed at home the whole time I was growing up. So my mom was the one who like picked me up from school and that kind of thing, and I would see the most. And then I guess my dad like coached all my sports teams and stuff, so that was like a lot of our relationship.
My dad wasn't in my childhood, but my mom was everything else, I guess.
They pretty well fit into your typical American parent stereotypes. My dad worked, my mom stayed at home.
I mean, I guess I lived in a stereotypical family. My dad was, he worked a lot, and then my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she did a lot of just general housework.
My biggest critique of women is probably just like not acting like themselves. And then what is women's biggest critique of men? That's hard.
I'd say they're drama. They're very dramatic, and I think their biggest criticism of men would be kind of like their heartlessness and lack of feeling at times and understanding maybe.
Stop trying so hard. Just be you. Just, do what you do. Guys like a girl with confidence, you don't have to try so hard. A girl's critique of guys, I guess overconfidence, probably.
My biggest critique of women is, what would it be? Always getting like in hissy fits about each other. That's really fucking annoying. About guys, we're perfect, so I don't see what's wrong with us.
My biggest critique of women is, I don't like to generalize like this, but maybe that they tend to overcomplicate things, and by things I mean everything.
What I think women's critique of men would be, acting impulsively, I think is one thing. I mean, prime example, Tuesday I went out and bought a rabbit. Like, why? I don't know.
That's my biggest critique of you.
Yeah, Chris hates me for it.
Girls are mean and boys are scum.
Alright, my biggest critique of women would be that some women are very, just like over-emotional, almost over-attached. And then I think women's biggest critique of men is that men are just like too simple and too, not emotional enough.
I think it's hardest for men to control their anger.
Probably arrogance.
The hardest emotion for men to control is anger, I think, because it's hard to stop being mad at something once you get started, and you just feel like you have to resolve it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just angry.
I think it's hard for men, not boys, but men, to control their urges when it comes to the thing mating. When it comes to mating, they can't control themselves.
Their anger. Guys get angry really easily if they can't like control a situation, or they feel like the other person doesn't have control. They'd like want to fix it and then get angry.
As I enter into the workforce, I will mostly be striving to make enough money to eat.
Find a job to sustain myself for any amount of time whatsoever.
As I enter the workforce, I'll be striving to make more money than other people.
Success, financial success, and stability. I have a lot of loans to pay off, so I need that for at least the first couple of years I'm working.
I think my relationship has changed with them because as I've gotten older, I have, and really, and more importantly, they've gotten older. I have begun to see their personalities come out, so I've begun to understand what makes them tick.
You start with just playing with them, but as they get older and you can actually kind of talk and interact on a more mature level and have a more of a, I guess, more developed emotional and intellectual relationship with them.